after the game, I was in the locker room. It was kind of strange. I mean, they won. You know how winning locker rooms are. They're pretty raucous.
And
But
there's
it was
music.
also, and there's music. But it was also a somber occasion because the starting quarterback on the team broke his ankle. The starting quarterback. But it's a conflicted team, and Mike Silva wrote a very interesting article talking to players on and off the record that tell them what it was about.
Okay. I want to make a little preamble because, Michael, if anyone tells you about this or if you see it, I am taking issue with you in no way. Michael Silva and I are dear friends and have been for decades. I love Michael Silva. In addition, he is one hell of a reporter.
Mhm.
I could never do the things he did.
Same.
So, Michael, you and I don't have all I do is admire you.
Yeah, me too.
After the game, now again, I wasn't there, but I read Michael's article in the Chronicle, which was really good. He asked certain coaches, according to what he wrote, certain coaches and players about the shift now inevitably from Trey Lance to Garoppolo. And Michael indicated that some off the record said, and this is a paraphrase, they're relieved they're going back to Jimmy because they feel they're a Super Bowl ready team right now. And they could be more Super Bowl ready with Jimmy than they could be with the experiment of Trey Lance. Okay. I have a lot of things to say about that, and I'm going to come to George Kittle in a minute. Iggy, don't let me forget about him. All right?
I'm writing them down.
Okay. First of all, there are so many layers to this. When a player gets hurt and it's your quarterback, again, Iggy and I said the game was a net loss. You're supposed to honor your fallen brother. You're supposed to be serious and somber because one of yours went down. In fact, your leader went down.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens in that situation if you're playing with a bunch of gentlemen? And Michael asked his questions as he should and as I would have. A gentleman would have said, I understand your question, Michael. This is not the time to talk about it.
Right.
Trey Lance just went down.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about the team without him.
Yep.
I don't want to even indicate that we're better without him. It's
on or off the record.
On or off the record. It's a fair
Let's talk tomorrow. Let's talk next week. Not today.
Let's see. Or let's see how Jimmy does before we even talk about this.
Yeah.
Because if I say, even off the record, we're better with Jimmy, it almost seems like gloating that this young man got hurt. So all respect to you, Michael, and all respect to your question, but I'm not going to answer it. But according to Michael, and boy, I believe Michael 150%, some assistant coaches and some players actually indicated that they're relieved and better off with Jimmy. Okay. They say this, and Michael, as he absolutely should, writes it. So now let's call it 6 people that he spoke to. I have no idea how many. I'm going to just say 6. 6 people just kicked Trey Lance in the nuts. He's in a hospital bed. He's about to get operated on, and he knows that there are people in the locker room who not only don't care, but if kind of they don't feel glad that he got hurt, but they feel glad that he's out.
Like the best thing for the team just happened.
Yeah, the best thing for the team just happened. How is he supposed to feel lying there, facing serious surgery, knowing that people are kind of happy? It's better for the team.
Yeah.
And
hey, nothing personal, but hey, good. This is good. It's a net positive for us.
Drop dead.
Net positive for us. Sorry.
Yeah. And so how is he supposed to feel when he comes back to the facility and is rehabbing and is looking and saying, who said this?
Was it you?
Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? And how is he supposed to feel if he ever becomes a starter again, going into that huddle and knowing probably one or more people in that huddle crapped on him when he was at his lowest. And I'm saying there are people in that locker room who kicked him in his nuts when he was at his lowest. I want to tell you people something. You look at athletes as heroes, and I understand why. They do heroic things on the field, on the court, and all of that. One of the things I noticed in my years, I confronted a lot of really crummy behavior. And I do not consider athletes heroes. I consider them like the rest of us, Some of them are decent. Some of them are better than decent.
Right.
Steve Young is better than decent.
Right.
Some of them suck. And
It's the
some
full
of them,
spectrum.
I'm sorry, sweetie.
It's the full spectrum.
The full spectrum. And
Yeah.
some of them are bums. Some of them
Yeah.
suck. And the
Yeah.
people who said this stuff to Michael Silver, they're not heroes. They're not
Yeah.
worthy of your worship. I don't know who the hell they are. And if they were coaches, holy mackerel.
Yeah.
What a thing. So I got more. If you don't mind again. I know
Keep going.
There's more. And before I get to Kittle, there's more.
Yeah.
So we're learning that X amount of players that Michael talked to and X amount of coaches he talked to feel good that Jimmy's coming back. There could be even others who feel that who he didn't talk to.
Yes.
So what we know is there was a schism on the team.
Right.
The schism on the team. The schism wasn't that they were down on Trey Lance.
Yeah.
They were down on the coach.
Right.
Because it was the coach's decision.
Mhm.
This was his guy. He didn't even want Jimmy. They wanted to get rid of Jimmy.
Mhm.
They only sort of got Jimmy at the end on a fluke. He wanted him out. So what you're telling me is people in that coaching room, when they sit around the table and talk, that there are people who were not loyal to Kyle Shanahan, who had not bought into his program, and there are players in the room who are not loyal to Kyle Shanahan and had not. This is such betrayal of the program and the coach. And these people said it off the record to Michael.
Yeah.
I got to tell you.
Yeah.
It's a cliche, dysfunctional. The Niners are dysfunctional.
Yeah.
I've never seen this.
Right.
What about you, Iggy?
I've never seen this. They are working against their head coach. They have no respect for Kyle Shanahan and his decision. No respect. And it's like we wondered this when a bunch of assistant coaches left this offseason. It's like, a lot of offensive coaches are gone. Maybe Kyle wanted to get some people who were 100% behind Trey. Well, maybe that wasn't enough. Who knows? Strange.
So what now? Ironically or paradoxically, there may no longer be a schism because Jimmy's the guy and everybody seems to be behind Jimmy. Okay, that's another thing that makes me laugh. Jimmy gives us our best chance. For what? To be the third best team, to get to the key game and lose?
Yeah.
The whole point was to get over the hump.
Right.
And the whole point is Jimmy can't do it.
Yeah.
This kid may or may not do it, but we'll never find out now because you ran him up between the tackles.
Yeah.
The point is they wanted to go, quote unquote, to the next level. Right. And these players.
Did they though? Kyle wanted to. It doesn't seem like this locker room wants to. It seems like this locker room is quite happy to be the second or third best team in the league.
Yeah, to lose in the championship game or to lose in the Super Bowl and say, boy, we almost made it. Can you imagine Bill Walsh's team saying we almost made it? He never lost the Super Bowl.
Do you know the Niners threw a party after they lost the Super Bowl? They had a party scheduled. They lost, and they were like, you know what? Let's do it anyway. They really did that.
No, you canceled the party. You don't reinforce losing.
They reinforced losing, and guess what they've done since then? Not won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, so no. For these people to say they feel more comfortable, they're not there to feel comfortable. They're there to win. Yeah. And they had a better chance possibly with Trey Lance, certainly with Jimmy. They're not going to win a Super Bowl with Jimmy. They may not even win the championship game with Jimmy.
Two reasons they won't win the Super Bowl with Jimmy. One, he can't stay healthy, and that might be a Kyle issue more than a Jimmy issue because all of Kyle's quarterbacks get hurt. I think we're going to see Brock Purdy at some point. No offense to Jimmy. Also, he doesn't throw down the field. We've known this for 3 years. You can't win a Super Bowl checking down 1 million times a game. They've tried. They can't do it. When you get to the playoffs, good defenses will shut that shit down.
And Iggy, the other thing is everybody was saying, or not everybody, these people were saying Jimmy didn't play that well.
No.
I mean, I'm not looking. It's not like Peyton Manning came in.
No.
Jimmy played okay. He played like Jimmy. He didn't throw a pick, but he didn't have enough time for that.
He was good in the second quarter when the Seahawks weren't prepared to play him. Then they went in at halftime, got a new game plan, held him to 54 yards in the second half. So, yeah, I mean, he wasn't Peyton Manning at all. He was okay. And people are acting like, oh, the Niners were in a tough spot and Jimmy came in and saved them. They were going to win that game no matter if Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo, Brock Purdy, didn't matter. They were going to win that game against the Seahawks. So great that Jimmy Garoppolo came in. It's nice. But now we have to see him stay healthy and improve over the next 15 games.
Jimmy is not a savior.
No.
He's a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
That's what he is. Nobody else in the league wanted him.
Yep.
So to spin a fairy tale that he did magic and he's the magic bullet is ridiculous. Now I want to get to Kittle.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to read 2 quotes. Again, Michael talked to Kittle.
After the game in the locker room, George Kittle, who didn't play.
Okay. Here I have 2 quotes from Kittle. Michael writes, secondly, for better or worse, this organization has become drama central. And then Kittle on the record says, we're outrageous, aren't we? Sort of like joking, we're outrageous.
Like he's on the Tonight Show.
Yeah, right. And then Michael asks him, Jimmy's good at a quarterback sneaks. And Kittle says, I think it's the jawline. It just cuts through the A gap, and there's nothing defenses can do about it. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah,
okay.
So funny.
Okay, so here's the deal. Kittle. His leader and his comrade just went down about an hour and a half earlier.
Yep.
Okay? Got seriously hurt, and the mood should be somber. This guy's making jokes.
Yeah.
It's inappropriate to make jokes. It's like saying, I don't care about this kid.
Yeah.
He's talking about Jimmy's jawline. That's not right. What you should be saying, now he did say in the article, I feel very bad for Trey, the obligatory thing. You shouldn't be joking. You should be saying, Michael, this is really serious. And I'm going to tell you another thing, Michael, and I'm speaking now as Kittle. I didn't play in this game.
Yeah.
I didn't play in the first game either. I'm really a non-combatant. I don't think I should be answering any of your questions on or off the record because I didn't play. And when you don't play, you're a non-factor. You don't exist. Iggy, I've been around sports long enough. When you don't play, you have nothing to say. No one wants to hear from you, and nor do the players. I remember when Mark McGuire had that thing with his foot. He wouldn't talk. He was a non-person, and he was respectful of that. Kittle should not have been in the locker room, Iggy. He was.
That's the point. He should not have been in the locker room. Jason Verrett wasn't in the locker room.
Was he wearing a uniform?
No, he was in street clothes, and he was in the locker room after the week 1 loss in Chicago too. I remember thinking, "What are you doing here? You didn't play. What are you doing?"
No, he's a non-person. He shouldn't have been talking. Yeah. He shouldn't have been joking because this is serious, and he should not have given his opinion. He should have respected the protocol and the tradition of sports. When you don't play, you have nothing to say. It's as simple as that, and he knows it. And I'm going to say one other thing. I'm going to use the word wonder. I wonder if he's one of the people off the record who was pleased that Jimmy is coming back. I am not accusing him of it. I'm not there. I don't know him. I certainly wouldn't ask Michael. You never ask a great journalist or any journalist about his or her sources. But I wonder. I don't trust this guy, Kittle. I wonder if he said some of this stuff on the record and said other stuff off the record. I don't quite trust him, Miggy. And I have a feeling that he has this jolly ho-ho-ho attitude toward the media, but that it's a persona. It's like a marionette that he brings out.
He's a professional wrestler.
Yeah, I like that. But I don't know who he is. I don't trust him. I think he should have respectfully said, Michael, it's not appropriate for me to talk. And he shouldn't have talked about jawlines or drama central or any of that. It's not right. It's not right in a locker room where people are grieving because this lovely young man may have had his future ruined.
Hey, if that were Jimmy Garoppolo and he had broken his ankle like that, you think George Kittle would have been talking about Trey Lance's jawline or his hair? You don't think how somber do you think Kittle would have been in that case?
That's a very good question, Iggy. My gut feeling is he would have said to Michael, I really can't talk now. I'm very sorry what happened to Jimmy. That's a great point. And I think out of respect, Kittle would have done that for Jimmy, but he didn't do it for Trey.
Right. And the fact that you don't give the starting quarterback that respect and you don't give the head coach that respect, there's something wrong with this team. They are like coaching themselves. They are Jimmy's team, Kittle's team, the vets team. Like Kyle is it seems like they're making the decisions.
Yeah. And I'll tell you another thing. I guess I was kind of critical of Kittle now. If he has something to say to me, the Niners have my phone number. He's welcome to call.